You alright? It's my informative, hopefully, video about media ownership, who owns who, and all that, which I found an interesting topic because I didn't know how big some companies actually were. I thought they did one thing, which is what they're known for, but actually it's quite broad, so I found it a bit interesting. So what I'm going to do, excuse me, is a rundown or a quick look at each company and how big their reach is, because it's a bit like I suppose it's globalization really, because everyone knows these companies because of their buying everyone else, which I think, in my opinion, will eventually end up in one company and in the world. I will no longer be known as Earth. We'll be known as like Warner Brothers Disney, and that'll be the planet name. And then Mars will be laughing at us. That's a chocolate bar. Let's do this. Okay, first one we'll look at is Vivendi Universal. Vivendi being a water company started in France, but then it started branching out into other areas, media obviously, getting stakes and all that. But they're not together anymore. I just looked up online, and apparently a lot of the stakes were sold to other people because they were losing money, so they're not actually a company together anymore. Or they just changed their name. I don't know whether NBC bought them or someone else. It's really confusing. I've been reading it for 5 minutes and I go, this is the problem. I mean, you don't know who owns what. It's so confusing. It's like a tight-knit sort of spider web that, I don't know. Everyone knows who Universal are. It's a huge company. Universal Music. Artists such as Snow Patrol, Kanye West, Annie Lennox, Taylor Swift, Jay-Z, and of course the best artist, Shania Twain. So it's good. And Polydor sort of branched off from that and is a huge music label in the UK with acts such as N-Dubz, Take That, Saturdays, S Club 7, S Club 8, the Maccabees, Crystal Castles and Klaxons. And even through Polydor, US acts can distribute their music. Artists like Eminem, Limp Bizkit, Big Fiddy, All American Rejects, Lana Del Rey, Snoop Dogg or Lion, Black Eyed Peas, and Lady Gaga. So the branch is huge. They even as recently as 2008 got hold of the Rolling Stones back catalogue. But they're not really current at the moment, are they? They're not doing much. But yeah, obviously they're huge through their telecommunications, which they have in many different countries. And of course Universal theme parks all over the world. Never been, always wanted to. And then Universal Studios, obviously, but also owns a lot of TV shows as well. Cinemas include Cineplex, Odeon chain, which is huge in the UK. Vivendi also owns Studio Canal, which is a really big film production company, as you're probably well aware. The next one we'll look at is News Corporation, which is probably the Nazi party of all these companies we'll look at. I've got a quote here from Rupert Murdoch. It says, "Our reach is unmatched around the world. We'll reach people from the moment they wake up until they fall asleep." That sounds like Hitler, that does, doesn't it? Awful. Obviously everyone knows about the recent problems that's been going on with News Corporation and Leveson Inquiry and their sort of very illegal means of getting knowledge. Obviously News of the World closed down, which, was a sister paper of the Sun, which I'm sure everyone reads. Everyone denies they read it, but they do. but it has branches all over the place. The New York Post, which is a well-respected newspaper, they own that. Fox News, Sky, Sky B, Fox TV. They even own Australian National Rugby League, the LA Dodgers baseball team, and some football clubs. Do we want that? As a planet, as a human race, we want... But News Corporation's huge, everyone knows it. The Murdochs are. And for as much bad as they've done, they've done a lot of good as well. They have sort of globalised the news and made it really easy to access so much information. So, they're not all bad. But News Corp uses its global reach to localise its tax calculations, getting its accounts done in countries with low tax rates. As a result, it paid only 6.1% tax worldwide in the 4 years to June 1998. Really. Viacom. They own MTV, which everyone knows what MTV is. No longer shows music videos, really, on the sort of main channel. It's all like Teen Mom. I thought it was music television. Nickelodeon, Comedy Central, Paramount. It owns Paramount, which obviously is a massive company. So it's all under the same umbrella. This. Bought CBS. It's got 2,000 book titles annually, 180 US radio stations, and Infinity Outdoor, the largest advertising company in the world. So anything it wants to sort of broadcast and make aware, boom, it's there straight away. It's incredible. And it owns Blockbusters, which I'm sure at the time this was done was a huge sort of booming company. How many open stores do you know of? Because they're closing all over the shop up. So obviously, as Viacom owns Nickelodeon, MTV and CBS, what they've done is they've appealed to every age range. From when you're born to when you die, they've got it covered. Shows that I used to watch on Nickelodeon, man, like Cat Dog, Inspector Gadget, Kenan and Kel, Doug, Hey Arnold, The Wild Thornberrys, and all these shows, Angry Beavers, The Amanda Show, I didn't even watch that to be honest. Count Duckula, that would be Ren and Stimpy. All these shows appeal to kids, so all the kids will be watching that. When they hit teens, start watching MTV, which I used to like MTV. Some of the shows were good, like Maid. Maid was a okay show. The worst thing about MTV is the reality shows. I can't personally. I know a lot of people do like them. That's fair enough. It appeals to our age range, but I can't stand them, to be honest with you. Geordie Shore. I mean, you f***ing serious? The Valleys. Have you watched The Valleys? Jesus Christ. I can't believe I put myself through that. But anyway, so they had you loving life and laughing at, so like 0 to about 14 with Nickelodeon. MTV comes about when you're a teenager. You are Teen Mom, 16 and pregnant. And you hit adulthood to old age, you got CBS. Now CBS isn't that bad, quite broad. You got NCIS, which I used to watch, I love that show. How I Met Your Mother, Big Bang Theory, all things that young people and old can get on board with. 2.5 Men, it was great. Classics like Star Trek, Twilight Zone, late night talk shows like David Letterman. I mean, what they've done is they've got you in the palm of their hands. They can mould you. So looking at one of the granddaddies now. AOL, Time Warner. So that's 3 different companies all merged together to create like a cluster f***, just bringing all the assets together and making one huge sort of dominant force in the world. CNN, which is one of the leading forces in like news. I think the only real rival is probably Sky, but CNN is the one that always breaks the big stories when it comes to it. Time magazine, not that big in the UK, but it's a huge, well-respected magazine in the US. Some of the most iconic sort of covers ever. Referencing pop culture quite a lot. I mean, the most recent one I think was Iron Man. Or from AOL, obviously, most of us use it through the broadband. Through merging with the other companies, it's broadening its horizons and sort of looking into other things as well. 27 million subscribers as of 2000 apparently. Obviously Warner Brothers, everyone knows Warner Brothers, Warner Studios. They make quite good films. They used to have a string of cinemas in the UK. Looney Tunes, which everyone loves. Hanna-Barbera also owned it. It's Scooby-Doo. And of course it's got theme parks left, right and centre, so it is one of the big daddies, one of the granddaddies in terms of revenue, I'm guessing. Its only real rival is... Now, when I was younger, Disney to me was cartoons. That was it. That's all they did. Everyone was Disney. I don't care who you are. If you're my age or a little bit older, you grew up with Disney. But it doesn't just do that. That's why this is what I found so surprising. Disney is so much more broad than just cartoons and a talking peasant. Walt Disney is probably, though being anti-Semitic and rumours that he's frozen underneath Disney World, he was a genius, wasn't he? Creating this idea. I mean, it's a mouse. Mouse. It started off as a mouse and it's become this massive world-dominating company. Which, let's face it, is probably one of the biggest companies in the world. Not the biggest in terms of revenue, but name-wise, you see that logo slapped on everything it does. Disney, bang. Probably something the other companies don't do as well. Broadcast the fact that that's their company. That's part of what they own. Disney are awesome at doing that. One of the biggest American television companies. Amazing that. It owns ABC. Oh, it owns Buena Vista. Everyone knows Buena Vista. It owns Touchstone, Miramax. Worldwide, there's amazing amounts of Disney stores you can buy the merchandise, which is just range from anything to backpacks, to lunch boxes, to teddies and toys and I know a few people that work in Disney stores. I'm not crazy yet, but singing a song and I'll probably hit you. And look at Disneyland and Disney World, theme parks that are renowned and everybody in the world wants to go visit them. Why? Because of the characters, because of the movies. They want to go there to see these in real life. It's reached unreal, and recently, I say recently, more recent than this, what I'm referring to, Pixar, they bought, and that was a multi-billion dollar purchase. Pixar are huge. I mean, they were a small independent company that Disney sort of benefits and wanted to aid them by giving them the money to make more productions, and so far it's worked out alright. Pixar was like the group everybody liked because it wasn't a sort of massive world dominating conquering force. It was a company that made the awesome animation films that everyone loves. When Disney bought it, I think a lot of people have started thinking ruin it, but they haven't, and they've done really well. And when people ask you what's your favourite Disney film, and people say Toy Story, no, you're wrong. That wasn't owned by Disney. Toy Story come out, so it's Lion King, or Marvel. They bought Marvel, so every production that comes out of Marvel Studios now will have Disney's name slapped on it. And this is the thing, people thinking, well, Disney can't do that. Disney can't do those sort of movies, but Pirates of the Caribbean, a proof alone that it's possible that they can do these adult, mature, and good films. I say good, World's End, we won't talk about that. So let's look at, very quickly, in terms of film franchises, who owns what? Disney, obviously the big bee's knees, they own Pixar. Toy Story, Monsters Inc., Cars, that sort of, all that box. Pirates of the Caribbean, obviously, Winnie the Pooh, all those classic stories. The Muppets, Marvel, so Avengers, Captain America, Iron Man and Thor. And the biggest one recently, Lucasfilms. Two of the biggest names in film history in Indiana Jones and Star Wars. Star Wars, man. Disney Star Wars. Warner Brothers owns the Hangover series, which is... First one was brilliant, second one pretty much the same. The Sherlock Holmes franchise, which is doing well. The Hobbit and DC, so your Superman and Batman's. Because of Nolan, that is the most successful and in my opinion, the greatest superhero trilogy of superhero films ever created. So Batman is carrying that at the moment. This new Superman film, Man of Steel, needs to be excellent, really excellent, or else Batman's going to be the lone one carrying it. Whereas Marvel, we've got things left, right, and centre with Captain America and Iron Man and Thor, and then like the converging them all together. You know, so maybe DC will do Justice League, but Green Lantern was pretty shit. Sony, the animated films such as the Smurfs and Cloudy with the Chatting Meatballs are all original sort of takes and fairly successful. Men in Black series, obviously Will Smith spearheads that. We're going to talk about Ghost Rider. James Bond series, huge. Skyfall was the biggest James Bond film ever. The most money a James Bond film's ever got in the UK. And of course they own Spider-Man as well, which annoys me because there is no way they can join the Avengers. Simple as that. Two different companies, they can't put them together. Winnie the Pooh could be part of the Avengers in the next film because he's Disney, but not Spider-Man because he's Sony. Piece of shit. Universal, huge as well. Jurassic Park series, massively successful. Fast and Furious, too many, but it's alright. The Bourne series, now obviously rebooted with Jeremy Renner, which I haven't seen yet, but I don't really like Bourne anyway. The Step Up series, Despicable Me, so good. Lionsgate, I mean that's a smaller company, but still some huge series in that. The Expendables, yeah, it's not the best film ever made, but you want to watch action, you got everything there. All the big names and all the big explosions as well. Hunger Games, massively successful book series, going to be a massively successful film series. Texas Chainsaw Massacre apparently, and twice shite. 20th Century Fox now, this has got quite a few in it. Owns X-Men, didn't know that. I mean, again, X-Men, you're not going to see Wolverine in the Avengers or anything like that because it's two different companies, it's not going to happen. Planet of the Apes series, the new, obviously, reboot Rise of the Planet of the Apes, which has a sequel. It's going to build on the original stories and take the world by storm, probably. Die Hard series, and Alien. The 20th Century also owned Avatar, the single biggest film ever. James Cameron. Paramount owned Star Trek series, the reboot, obviously massively successful. Sequel coming out this year. Transformers started well, got worse, sort of went down. Paranormal Activity, innovative, first one amazing, but then they were same after that, aren't they? So I don't know whether Paramount actually owned DreamWorks or it's just in partnership with them. But apparently 20th Century Fox will own them from 2013 this year onwards. So we don't know about that, but as of the time of speaking, Paramount had Shrek and Madagascar, which are hugely successful. Again, sort of Mission Impossible, always good. Paramount did own Indiana Jones, but now that Lucasfilm is part of Disney, Indy's probably going to go there too. Good, because more films, but bad because the last one wasn't that good. And nobody knows who owns the Terminator series. So it's just so confusing. And who owns what? It's just everyone sort of has a stake in everything. Everyone owns everything else. All the major companies are buying all the little ones. So independent groups won't be around for much longer, I don't think, because they haven't got that much money. But they'll probably, once they get successful, they'll be bought out by the bigger ones. And this is the problem. Viacom and Paramount own what you're gonna watch. News Corporation own what you're gonna read. Disney own in the world. They're gonna buy the world, literally. They will own everything. Will be known as Disney. Everyone has to walk around with Mickey Mouses, no matter where you go. If you can't leave the house without Mickey Mouses, and everyone has to laugh like Goofy. That's our future. That's our future. It's not even fucking Viacom anymore.